Brian says 30 years that we've been doing business. He's got the books, so. It's just dealing with a good, honest man and the quality of cattle that he raises, and he's always trying to improve. I think Brian goes a little further just on these cattle. It shows, I mean. Well, we run that way pretty well towards the top of that mountain right there, and all back through here till you hit this patch of timber over here on the hillside. We own it 2 miles this way and 2 miles that way. We're 4 sections square here. Isn't blowing too hard. That's all I wear. I'm Robert Marchesseault. I'm 3rd generation here in the valley, and we're the oldest family in the valley that homesteaded here. 1883 was when it was homesteaded. It's 140 years now, and the same family, same brand, same homestead, and that's a rarity. We have long generations. And for this time of the year, that's really low. My dad and I built this barn over here, straight ahead. These are old buildings here. The house right here was here. And I can pull it up there. He wanted to be close here to get up at night and go right here and look at the heifers. And one of the things that really makes me feel good about the cattle we're raising, and of course Brian is part of that, is an order buyer at the Montana Livestock Auction sitting bidding on our steers when we sold them. And he was talking with his feeder back east, and he said these cattle are as good as they get. And he didn't know I was sitting behind him. But to hear that compliment, well, the black bollies, they all sold together. The Herefords, they all went together, but these cattle are as good as they get. You could see it in them. And there was a buyer one year that when Britons owned the auction, called them and said, "Don't sell those Marchesseault cattle until I get there." He said, "Hold them." And he was a little late getting there, but they held him. Everything that's black here is out of Massard bulls, or black bollies. Anything with black hairs, Massard said. I guess my brother Tex is probably the guy that got us going there. When he was out of Dillon there a short ways, going to his bull sales. Well, he's an honest man. He backs his livestock. He's just good to deal with. It's just quality cattle, and his bulls breeding nicks well with our Hereford program too. They really match well.
Yeah, we've been with Massards quite a while now, I guess 30 years. And back 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, we had all of the customary calving problems that people have been having ever since people have been doing cattle here. And we had to pull a lot of calves, and we always had between 1 and 3 cesareans a year. Out of 100 heifers, it was 1 to 3% cesareans. There was actually veterinarians, not too many, but some of them would hire a driver during calving season, and the vet would sleep while the driver drove, and the driver would sleep while the vet was cutting the calf out. So, but that's really probably 5 to 10 years ago. We noticed a lot less cesareans, and we haven't had one for a few years now, which is a little irritating to me because I'm losing my I'm losing a skill that I had. We had it down to a science. We could tell if we could pull a calf or not. And if we called a vet, he'd show up and he'd walk in the barn with his jump kit. It was just Dad and I working together. You don't even have to talk anymore because you know what the other guy's going to do. And barbed wire fences don't hold bulls. They used to fight a lot more than they do now. But they just don't fight as much as they used to, but they still go through his fences just like they always did. And some things don't change.
This little bar part here was added to the main building here. The bar itself come out of Bannock, which every bar in southwest Montana came from. But there was a... sit here and have a can of Coke and just cool off, and the doors would be open on both ends and a nice breeze blowing through, and I'd visit with old Walt Melcher that tended the bar, the last bartender here. Well, he's gone a long time ago. Yeah. People want to buy the sign from me, but I just leave it like it is. It's a piece of history. No. Yeah. People would sit here at the bar stool and hold their leg up. They'd get a piece of jerky and feed him, and he'd jump over their leg, and then they'd feed him a piece of jerky. Walt Melcher's dog, you know. And those horses, those are Budweiser horses there. They're over here in the field, hay meadow, and they brought the Budweisers up here. Yes, it's just a short ways north of here. It's when we still put hay up with the beaver slides. Can of Oldie.
Yeah.
I guess they quit making beer too.
Yeah.
Well, they might be making it again, but I think they quit for a while. Yeah, there used to be a jukebox sit right there. Dollar bill, that's that highest dollar bill. There was a fellow stood flat-footed here and put that dollar bill up there. 7 foot 4 inches tall. You know, it's amazing those dollars are there. There's people have been in here and seen them, but it's so far it's been people that are reminiscing and just like to see it the way it is. The ranchers would come up here to play cards on Sunday, and they'd tie their horses to the hitching rack here. It was so full that if you passed out, you couldn't fall down. Cowboys had gone home and the skiers got here. Boy, electrocuted right here at the base of this pole. He was working, they were setting the pole up, and he had a hold of the pole guiding it into the ground, and the copper wire, the ground wire coming down the pole, touched the overhead wires at the time that was here and electrocuted him. Well, quite a long time ago, 50 years ago or so. The old building down there, when we get out here, that building used to be a general store. We put a roof over it to save the building. It was going to collapse. To hear that compliment, these cattle are as good as they get.